Hi guys, Alistair Taylor here, and today we're going to talk about the difference between a regular and stiff shaft in driver. Does it make a big difference to performance? And if it does, how does it make a difference? So I've got the Nike Vapor Pro driver, and I've got the Dymana Blue board in regular and stiff. So somebody set these up, I don't know which is in which. I'm going to hit 5 shots with real balls on flight scope with one, switch it onto the other. And initially I'm just going to try and give you guys a bit of feedback as to how they kind of feel. Then from there, we're going to have a look at some numbers, see what the difference was, see if it makes a big difference. So shaft 1, I've got them both set at 11.5 degrees. Probably a little bit more loft than I would normally use. That's a nice high, flat trajectory. Like I said, we're going to hit 5, swap them over. I'll try not to kind of get a look at which shaft I'm putting in as a swap over. A little bit out the toe. But I mean, for me, this shaft feels kind of very, very stable. Doesn't feel like the shaft's doing a massive amount to impact. Again, pretty good strike. Last couple with this one. Again, good solid shot. Not a massive amount of shape on these. First one drew a little bit. And one final one. Try and give this one a little bit more. And again, just very solid. Good, I mean, 5 very, very good strikes. One maybe a little bit out the toe. So let's swap the shafts over. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to try and not look what shaft's in there, but I'm going to put the setup of the head exactly the same. So 11.5, just neutral. Probably for me, this is a little bit more lofted than I would normally use. I think when I got fitted on this driver, I was at 10.5. Okay, so shaft 2. I mean, look-wise, identical. Okay, 5 more. That one felt a little bit towards the heel, if anything. Not a massive amount, but certainly enough that I'd probably expect to see the numbers not quite as good. One felt maybe a little bit more towards the toe. Still went okay. Certainly for me, this one feels softer out of the 2 shafts. Kind of felt like the head had to do, well, the shaft had to do a lot more work to catch up there. That's pretty good. And the last couple. I mean, straight away, I think based on feeling-wise, this one feels like the softer of the 2 flexes. So this feels more like the regular. A little bit low and towards the heel. I mean, certainly for me, out of the 2 shafts, this one feels less stable. And I mean, I know some of you guys will say, what does that mean? Feels like it's harder for me to consistently find the middle of the club face with this. And that was pretty good. So, I mean, before I look at numbers there, I think definitely shaft 2, I found harder to find a consistent strike. Now, obviously, with the strike being different on the face, that's really going to affect the spin numbers and the distances. So let's look at some numbers on FlightScope, see which of the shafts came out performance-wise better, and then I'll give you a bit of feedback on which I feel would perform best for me when I play. Okay, guys, so when we look at the numbers, very, very close, really. I mean, swung them at pretty much identical speeds, certainly struck the stiff one more towards the middle, which gave me a little bit more carry and a little bit more roll. I mean, certainly for me, spin was lower. I think I hit more out of the heel with the regular one. So again, I'd expect that to maybe spin a little bit more. Probably for me, both of those spun a bit more than I would want. Maybe launched a little higher and hit a little higher. So I'd probably go a little less lofted in those. But certainly for me, certainly with my swing speed, the stiff performed better out of the two shafts. Okay, guys, so stiff was the first shaft. And for me, not only did it perform better as in the numbers, it also just felt better, felt like I could get the ball out the middle of the club face or closer to the middle of the club face and get it in play more where I wanted. Now, numbers are a funny one because the numbers with stiff were definitely better. But I think a huge part of that was because the strike was more consistent with stiff. So regular and stiff, does it make a big difference with results? To be honest, I think it makes a bigger difference that you find the shaft that enables you to find the center of the club face most often. And that way, that'll give you the best numbers. So for me personally, with this driver, with these two shafts, stiff definitely came out as best. But possibly in another driver with different shafts, I might possibly find the regular was more centered with the strike. So for today's perspective though, the Dymana Blueboard stiff shaft worked best in this driver. Probably optimal performance for me would be with less loft on the head as well. Okay guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. Leave some comments for me, let me know what you think. Like it and share it if you've enjoyed the video. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Hopefully see some of you guys down here in the future at Heron's Reach. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Look forward to seeing you in the future. Stay in contact.